very good evening to you. This is Prime TV News. Let's take a look at the headlines first. President emphasizes that there is no room for an authoritarian rule. The country's first children's park for those with special needs has been set up. US assures continued support to Sri Lanka after quitting the Human Rights Council. Minister of Posts say postal strike is aimed at achieving narrow political aims. And in headlines overseas, US President signs executive order to keep immigrant families together. And with that, we move on to the news in detail. US Ambassador to Sri Lanka, Atul Keshup, has assured Sri Lankan officials continued support to fulfill commitments in the United Nations Human Rights Council resolution. This follows the announcement made by the United States that it was withdrawing from the UNHRC. US Ambassador to the United Nations Nikki Haley announced the US decision on Tuesday, accusing the UN Human Rights Council of bias against US ally Israel and a failure to hold human rights abusers accountable. Ambassador Keshup met with senior Sri Lankan officials to convey the assurance of the United States government will remain fully engaged with the Sri Lankan government to help it meet its continuing and standing commitments to the international community to advance the cause of reconciliation and lasting peace for all Sri Lankans. According to a statement issued by the US Embassy, Sri Lanka's continued progress towards fulfillment of these international commitments will facilitate further growth of their bilateral relations and enhance Sri Lanka's ability to engage with friends and partners around the world. It said that the US will follow Sri Lanka's progress closely and look ahead to engage with Sri Lanka between now and March 2019, in the spirit of friendship that has marked their recent relations. The United States said it will also support and expand bilateral partnership as Sri Lanka takes further steps outlined in the Geneva Resolution. 6 persons engaged in drugs peddling have been arrested. They were taken into custody from the Ampara town. The police also succeeded in taking into custody drugs packets which were planned for selling. The police had received information that a drugs racket was in progress in the Ampara town for some time. Accordingly, the raid was carried out jointly by the Ampara District Anti-Corruption Division, the Divisional Unit Corruption Unit and the Ampara Headquarters Anti-Corruption Unit. It was revealed that the narcotics had been transported from the Maligavatta area in Colombo to Ampara. Meanwhile, a woman who had been engaged in distributing drugs under the guise of biking in a train has been taken into custody. The woman was apprehended during a raid carried out by sleuths of the Gampa Police Intelligence Unit. The raid was carried out following a tip-off received by the Gampa Police that a drug distribution racket was taking place in the train from the Dematagota area. As a result of the raid, the police succeeded in nabbing this woman along with 13 packets of heroin. It has been revealed that a packet of heroin was being sold at a price of 1,200 rupees. The woman had been selling the heroin, concealing them in her clothes. Preliminary investigations had revealed that the distribution and sale of heroin had been carried out in several rural areas. The police said that the 49-year-old woman suspect is a resident of Dematulanda in the Chaturagama area.
Dallas Alhapiruma said that around 250,000 letters have gathered. All activities are dysfunctioning. Minister M.H. Halley mentioned that this was not a mistake on the part of the government. He said that this situation has arisen due to the issued that has surfaced in the circular issued in 2006. He pointed out that the government has positively responded to the two main issues of the workers. It included the removal of Grade 3. The minister accused that there is an aim behind this strike. He said that it seems an effort to topple the government.
The expert study report for the production of single superphosphate from the Epavala phosphate mine has been handed over to Minister Mahinda Amaravira. The Epavala phosphate mine is considered to be so far the world's best. Although the phosphorus composition of the natural phosphate at present in the world does not exceed 25%, the quantity of phosphorus in the Epavala phosphate mine remains at a high level of 33 to 40%. Minister Mahinda Amaravira appointed an experts committee to carry out a technical study for the launch of the production of phosphate from the Epavala phosphate mine. A report compiled by the committee comprising experts including Professor O.A. Ile Peruma was handed over to the minister. The quantity of single superphosphate needed by the country at present is 100,000 metric tons. The government spends about 7 billion rupees on it annually. The country could save this colossal amount by productively using this Epavala phosphate mine. President Maithripala Sirisena has emphasized that no room will be left again for a dictatorial or authoritarian administration in the country. The president was addressing a function held in the Nikavaratia area. Further expressing his views at this function, the president mentioned that the people of this country made a vital contribution for a change of administration on January 8, 2015. The nation did so against the dictatorial administrative nature that was surfacing in the country. Some have forgotten these experiences, even though they are demanding for such an authoritarian and dictatorial rule. The president emphatically mentioned that he would not make way for the desires of the people of the country that placed on 8th January 2015 to shatter. The president was speaking at the opening of the 81 village under the Model Village program. The vesting of this Veherapura housing project at the Kotavehera in Nikavaratia within the Kurunegala district took place under the patronage of President Maithripala Sirisena. The housing project spans on a 6.6 acre block of land and comprises 32 houses. The village also has all basic facilities including electricity, pure drinking water and systematically prepared approach roads in addition to an internal road network. The president, after vesting the housing project in the people, engaged in an observation visit. The president also came across a herbal park put up in this model village. He planted a nar sapling at the premises to mark the opening of the village. The president also symbolically handed over keys to house recipients. Minister of Housing and Construction Sajid Premadasa addressed the function after visiting of the model village in the people. Still on local news, the International Monetary Fund has released the fifth installment of $252 million under the Extensive Credit Facility. A conference to apprise the media on the current stand taken by the International Monetary Fund on behalf of the broad economic reforms of the Sri Lankan government was held at the World Bank head office in Sri Lanka. International Monetary Fund's Operations Director Emmanuel Hoviti addressed the Sri Lankan journalists via video technology from its head office in Washington. She expressed views on the release of this credit installment. The International Monetary Fund said that this credit was being given to strengthen Sri Lanka's economic reforms program. ITN in its news bulletin earlier reported that a group of adults had been unable to receive their elders' allowance following the postal strike. Officials of the Ginigathena Divisional Secretariat took the initiative of providing the allowance to these adults amidst police security. 875 adults within 5 Gramin Lidari divisions of the Bhagavantalawa Police Authority area are entitled to this elders' allowance. However, they were not in a position to receive their allowance following the strike mooted by the postal workers. The Ginigathena Divisional Secretariat, knowing of the difficult situation these adults were confronting, took the initiative of providing them with this allowance with police security. The passing out parade of a group of Air Force members leaving for peacekeeping operations in South Sudan was held recently. The passing out parade was held at the Katunayaka Air Force Base. This helicopter squadron is due to make contributions in the provision of VIP security, passenger and goods transport, domestic air travel and medical services. The squadron includes 19 officials comprising 10 pilots and 85 Air Force members. The passing out parade was held under the patronage of Air Force Commander Air Marshal Kapila Jayampati. 3 Air Force teams had earlier visited South Sudan to extend support for UN peacekeeping operations. A location preparing fake documents has been raided. It was carried out by the police. This fake kacheri had been operating in the Nigambo area. As a result, the police took into custody fake rubber seals and a stock of fake documents. The raid was carried out following a tip-off received by the Crimes Investigations Division of the Nigambo Police Division. 4 suspects have been arrested with 4 firearms, along with 4 firearms. These suspects have been taken into custody following a special operation carried out by the police at several places within the Munaragala Police Division. The suspects have been nabbed from areas such as Vellavaya, Mathagama and Athimale. They are reported to be residents of these areas. The police said the raid was carried out following a tip-off received by them. It has not yet been divulged as to why they had these firearms in possession. The suspects were due to be produced in the Munaragala, Vellavaya and Siabalandua magistrates' courts today. And that's all the news we have for you tonight. For more information, you can log on to www.itnnews.lk, your go-to source. I'm Umayangi Vijay Surya signing off for Prime TV News. Good night.